Hey Aries, welcome to October 2019. This month I'm pulling from my Mana Cards deck because I love Hawaii, and Hawaii is a very magical place with lots of divine messages for us, so why not? This month I pulled for you this card. It's Kuhina, and there's two sides of this card. This is one of the few in this deck that has a reversal, but I pulled it for you this way, which is the Hina side as opposed to the Ku side. So I'll talk a little bit about the Ku side, which was that this guy is the god of war, and then this is the goddess of healing. So we pulled for you the goddess of healing. And this card overall is a little bit about conflict. Let's see. Yes, conflict and healing. And Aries, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you've kind of been going through it. I mean, dude, everyone's been going through it. Fuck, 2019, you know? But didn't we say that about all the years? Okay, whatever. The message of the healing is kind of just saying to really chill out and not worry about engaging in the conflict. That's sometimes the best way to solve things that aren't working out or that aren't, like, you know, so savvy, so wonderful, is just to, like, chill and let it be. Sometimes we can't do everything to make everything okay. Kind of letting it cool and simmer down as opposed to engaging with it. And this conflict could be internal, it could be stuff that's going on with us. And so that would mean, instead of, like, trying to find all the answers to what plagues us and why we're a little dysfunctional and what our wounds are, and trying, like, instead of, like, picking at the wound that's healing and, like, taking all this medicine that's maybe making us more sick with side effects, to just sort of sit in a little bit of the discomfort of what is, and just know that by doing nothing we are healing, because healing is its own process. And the other thing that this card talked about was that there was this kind of, like, sorcery that they could do in Hawaii, where they could literally, like, pray someone to death. It was kind of like this, yeah, like, you could, like, contact God and be like, hey, can you kill this person? It was kind of like that, but the danger of that was that that negativity could come back and kill the person who was trying to kill the other person psychically, and then it's like, that's no good. So basically, even if it's not that extreme, it's like sometimes the negativity that we're expending outward on, like, hating on someone or being angry at someone, it just becomes our own anger and resent. Like, it's like kind of that old school shit, like resentment is a poison that we drink expecting the other person to die type thing. So it's like, don't drink the poison of trying to force karma to happen a certain way. Just be in the pause. All right, let's get into your reading. And also last month, my reading for you was, like, kind of about, yeah, see, I got the moon. My reading for you last month was about kind of balancing divine masculine and feminine energies within you. And so I think, yeah, part of your integration process still of, like, kind of incorporating everything that you've been through in the past feels a lot about just, like, fucking chilling. I got the moon for you. 8 of Cups reverse. 7 of Swords reverse. Princess of Cups. Princess of Wands. 8 of Wands reverse. Let's just deal with this real quick. So I think that there's a general feeling of stuckness. Whoops, I moved something. Okay. There's a general feeling of stuckness, because we got the 8 of Wands reverse, and we also got the 8 of Cups in reverse. Ugh, Aries, I think you're desperately kind of wanting to escape some situation that you're in. I think that you're just wanting the healing to be now. Like, I think that the healing is a process, and the healing is definitely a little bit about sitting and not knowing, and, like, you want to be moving on from something that's been causing you pain, something that was difficult, something that was like, frankly, just shitty. But you're not able to quite, and you want this forward movement of, like, moving forward in your life. But with the moon, I think it's just that all is not clear at the moment. And this can be really, I hate this. This has been such a weird time for, I think, a lot of people. And for, like, pretty much all the signs that I've been reading, like, it feels like the theme of October is kind of letting go of control. And I think that continues to be true for you. So for you specifically, I think it's like the moon is healing you. It is. Like, look, I mean, like, you got the good side of this card. You're not, like, fighting with people. And with the Seven of Swords in reverse, it's like, I think there might have been some deception, or there might have been some, like, lies, or there might have been some, like, bullshittery going on. And just some, like, feeling fucking crazy. But it's in reverse, so I think it's, like, falling away. It's almost like you can't care anymore. Who cares about it, per se? It's like that feeling you get when you're just too tired to argue with anyone anymore. Which maybe is for the best, honestly, because I think that to engage in the conflict, we're not having clear communication anyway. We're not getting the answers we want, and we're not moving past whatever it was that was the block. I guess to make it... Okay, so, like, I read this thing... Okay, I'm going to tell you about it. And it pertains to these cards, too. Eight of Cups in reverse and Eight of Wands in reverse. I read this thing from, like, a Zen thing, Buddhism, that was like, if there's a tree in the forest and it's in the middle of the path, is it an obstacle? Well, if you're trying to move forward on that path, in that specific direction, then yes. You can't just walk through the tree unless you're in a lucid dream, which in this dimension we're not. You either have to, like, go around the tree, or you have to, like, go over the tree, or you have to, like, cut through the tree and expend energy. And so yeah, like, it is an obstacle, and to deal with the obstacle you have to do something. But it was like, what if you're not trying to go that way? What if you're not trying to move forward? Then the tree is no longer an obstacle, because that's not the part it's playing in your life. Suddenly the tree means something else. Suddenly the tree is just something that you sit on and enjoy while you, like, have a picnic by the tree that has fallen on the path. Basically to say all the obstacles, all the challenges, all the, like, things that are stuck and not moving forward, part of what makes them feel like stuck energy is how we're relating to those obstacles or challenges. It's our perception of it, as well as it itself, that is making it what it is. So, if this is, like, for example, another person, what is our relationship to them? What is our conflict with them? If we have a conflict with them, it might be because we have an expectation or kind of an agenda of what we want that relationship to be and to what it means to us. For example, I'll make it about me for a second. Like, I have had a crush that's been very confusing and weird. And I'm like, does he like me? Does he not like me? I have no fucking idea. Like, it's like hot and cold, right? But it's like, my relationship with this person is also based on me wanting a certain outcome of my relationship with him. That's all in my head. It's all based on partly fantasy of thinking that this person can fulfill something. But I don't have any... I'm not leaving and I'm not moving forward. I'm just kind of like... So it's just... I think that the invitation here and the healing comes from maybe the letting go of the unconscious agendas we have and the unconscious resentments we have. Like, maybe this person or situation, that could be a job, maybe whatever we're involved in was rather shitty, and did do some devious, manipulative things that were crappy, right? But it's like, then there's sort of like the acceptance of it and the letting go of the pain. Like, that person only has the power to make me feel as bad about myself as I'm continuing to give them that power over me, or as much as I'm interpreting their behavior as a judgment or an indictment on my worthiness and deservedness of love. What I really need to heal, or what you really need to, but like we need to really heal, is just ourselves. And, or with the path, it's like maybe the tree fell in the path because we're not really supposed to go that way anyway. But like maybe we're not being able to leave the situation and move forward from like whatever has been haunting and plaguing us because it's not the right way. But when we're so confused, when we're so overwhelmed, when there's been so much conflict and so much strife and so much like, and again, I was talking about like last month being you balancing divine masculine, divine feminine. Well, then I think it's about taking the pause to integrate. And that might, a big message I've gotten for pretty much all the signs too is to do nothing. And how doing nothing is so often so much harder than doing something. I think I talked about this with Capricorn. Or maybe it was Sagittarius. I don't remember who I talked about it with. But it's like, doing nothing is hard because we like to do things because it gives us a sense of control. It gives us a sense of like we're doing something. Even with our healing process, often we want to be like tending our wounds. We want to be psychoanalyzing ourselves. We want to be going into our past to find the traumatic event from our childhood so that we can finally heal it and finally move forward. But I think that all of that energy expended can be exhausting and also not get us the results and have us spinning in circles. It's like the hacking at the tree that's in the path. So genuinely, to heal, it's like, just look at the moon. Do nothing. Let it come to you. Let the healing and the answers and the clarity come to you in the divine timing that it needs to happen. You not doing anything doesn't mean you're a failure. You not doing anything doesn't mean that you're lazy. You not doing anything doesn't mean that you aren't proactive in your life. You not doing anything doesn't mean all these things that we're conditioned by capitalistic society to believe. You not doing anything is you giving space to breathe, to collect yourself, to integrate, as I talked about, your September experience of integrating divine masculine, divine feminine energies to kind of come into this new balance and to let that healing happen for you. When you cut yourself, you don't have to like look at your hand and think about the blood coming out and think about how your skin is going to rebuild itself. It does it. Your soul and your psyche can do it too. But yeah, the more you're picking at it, the more you're trying to like deal directly with it, I think the more you're actually slowing down your process. So, but we're just not taught these things. And so it's very hard. It's hard because it seems counter to what we believe about the world and how it works. Phew. Okay, I dropped it. We don't need the moon anymore. I got the Princess of Cups and the Princess of Wands. I also pulled this for Pisces, so I'll just give you the same message I gave for Pisces, which was that this is a new beginning. This is ultimately about your beginner's mind. So, Princess of Cups dealing with your emotions, your vulnerability. Princess of Wands dealing with your passions and your creativity. And kind of being gentle with yourself in the process of understanding that you're coming into deeper, newer understandings of you, which we've talked about with your healing. And so to kind of be patient and kind to yourself and to be curious more than to be, I think just don't push yourself. Just be in a process of discovery. Like if you were putting together a puzzle, I think that there's so much pressure in our lives as humans in this world to make everything happen quickly. And to go fast. Like, there's a rush. Everyone's in a rush. And so it's hard to not be in a rush ourselves. Okay. I can't help it. Okay. I got the Lovers in reverse. I got the Queen of Cups, which kind of came in reverse, but it ended up being upright, so let's just go upright. And I got the Sun. So I think to bring it, this might involve partnership with someone else, like romantic, or even, lovers just meaning like how we love others. But I think that with this being in reverse, it's like, I think that the call really to keep going with what we're talking about is to go inward, because what you're trying to do really right now is discover your emotional truth, and then also your inner power and your light, and like how you can kind of like radiate forth and like radiate forward. And there might be a little bit of a tendency to be evaluating your success in yourself and how you're doing in regards to your partnerships. So like, I mean, this is a lesson I had to like revisit this morning, but it's like, example, I have a class, and I'm in grad school, and I'm like asking my teacher all these questions, and she seems super annoyed by me, and then I had problems with some of the material, like ethical concerns, and then she kind of made me feel like I was being like overly sensitive about it, and I was like, God, everyone fucking hates me. Like, all the students hate me for asking questions so much. Like, I'm just like an obnoxious Tracy Flick type, and then my teacher's even annoyed with me. So like, everyone hates me. But then my friend was like, no one hates you, or if they're giving you feedback that makes you feel like they're hating you, it doesn't matter. There's so many people who don't hate you and who love you. And I guess just it was like their reactions to you their reactions to me being how I am in that class have so much more to do with who they are and them and where they're at. And even maybe just the fact that they didn't get enough sleep or something than it does to do with me and my self-worth. So I think we're just kind of having to divorce how we think about ourselves and our power and our like self-esteem and our just like our light that we give off from the reflection we get from others. I think sometimes maybe you're just falling into the trap of like evaluating yourself by looking in the mirror of how other people treat you. But sometimes it's a funhouse mirror. Sometimes the way other people are treating you isn't an accurate reflection of how beautiful and divine and capable and talented and perfect you are as you are. It has more to do with them being in wherever they're at in their journey. So with this being in reverse, I don't think it's saying that there's like a lack of love. I just think it's saying like find your love from yourself inward. Don't be looking at it externally. Don't be looking for other people's validation. And if other people are treating you weird, it has nothing to do with you. So don't internalize this. Get out of the habit of finding belonging and meaning. Like, it's kind of like the whole no one completes you. Partnerships are about two wholes coming together. So just work on your wholeness, your own personal wholeness, like who you are. And this isn't like bad news at all. I think this is just part of your healing, of strengthening your own relationship to yourself will ultimately make these partnerships healthier and better and in more harmony and alignment. I talked about this with a friend once, but it's kind of like if you're two trees, but if your roots are weak and you're leaning on the other tree and its roots are weak, you both might topple over. You're your own tree regardless of if that other tree is nearby or not. And you don't want to be like totally dependent on growing your roots through the roots of that other tree. You're your own plant. There's a Mr. Rogers quote about how sometimes like, the shrubs of families need to be taken apart so that each one can grow their own healthy roots. It's like, go focus on your own roots. Focus on who you are, regardless of literally anyone. Find your love inside. Cheesy, cliched stuff, but I think important for this healing that you're going through. Oh my god, and like the do nothing, because healing is such a gift if you can get there. Whoa. Okay, yeah, nice. Great. Okay. 4 Pentacles. I mean, you might just be in a little bit of a scarcity lack mindset. You might be scared that nothing good is ever going to happen. Maybe me saying taking the pause feels like, oh, I don't have that luxury, right? Because you're like, well, I need to make money. I can't just, like, drop everything and do nothing like you're suggesting. And so I guess what I mean by do nothing still is, like, yeah, you have to live in the material world. Yeah, you have to show up to some obligations, but you don't need to make everything you do, doesn't have to be, like, you can go through the motions a little bit. You don't have to have your heart in everything. You don't even have to do your best at everything. You just have to kind of get it done. And scarcity mindset, meaning like you don't think it'll ever get better, that it'll ever happen, or that if you pause, you're just stalling your life. But I really insist that if you pause and take this time for self-care and for integrating, that things will move forward more quickly in the future than if you never took this time. So there might be some fear involved in, like, the process you're in, or some, like, also fear that it'll never happen, or that you're, you know, never gonna, like, get past this, like, that you're always gonna be, like, poor or something, you know, maybe not literally, but, and I mean, dude, I totally understand. I've been feeling that way myself. Like, is this ever going to change? It does not feel like there's any evidence that this is ever going to change, but I think that the change happens from the healing. Because when we heal, then I think we'll find that clarity. And then the other card I got for you is Strength. And, oh, what a beautiful card. I love it. And, I mean, strength to heal, strength to put yourself first, to make yourself a priority, strength to do nothing, strength to say, my life is not going to end if I don't fulfill all these little tiny obligations. It's kind of like death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? It's not always just that our lives suck, it's just that there's so many little things that just keep, like, nibbling at our psyches of, like, other people's expectations, other people's wants, or our own expectations of ourselves, or our own need to drive our lives forward, or just, you know what I mean, like, all that little, it just can become overwhelming. And so it's like, you have the strength to swipe those aside. Swipe aside all of that little shit that is the fear and the scarcity. Do what you must, do what you gotta do to, like, get through your day and make money, but give yourself the gift of that healing. Have the strength to go through this process. Have the strength to sit with yourself and be patient. Have the strength to sit in this darkness of kind of the, like, you know, I'm trying to find the moon, whatever. You know, like, I hope this is making sense. I hope this resonates with you. You just have, because the strength also isn't about the aggressiveness. This, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's like a woman, like, taming a lion. It's not that the lion has strength because it's, like, attacking people. Oh, the show Birdie and Tuca, on Netflix, it was like there was a jaguar in it, and then the plant, like the house plant, was the one who tamed the jaguar that was out of control. And I think about plants a little bit as maybe being another way of thinking about strength, like the just being. I mean, we really are just plants, right? Like, think about a baby. A baby is born and then it's curious about walking and then it starts teaching itself how to walk. And that's not like conscious or planned or deliberate or like, they're not like exhausting themselves trying to make their walking perfect. They just keep trying and keep getting up and keep doing it. And they keep it gets like we unlearn that at some point because we're conditioned otherwise. So the strength is just to know that to have the faith in your process, really, your healing process. And the strength with that strength card and then the woman taming the lion, it's like the strength comes from like the containment instead of being this conflict god who's like getting into it with everyone. The strength actually comes from the quietness of like being still and just letting it all be and kind of not trying to have it all fixed. That having the faith. The strength comes from the faith in your healing. Woo! That's your message. I love you, Aries. And, if you like this, subscribe and like, because I like attention on the internet, and that'll make me happy. And then if you like what I say, then you can tune in again when I do this in November. So I love you, wishing you the best in October, and I'll see you again in November. All right. Bye.